You know, you never know. Have you ever decided, have you ever wanted to stay home or not go out or not do something? You just didn't feel motivated or want to do anything. And then you do it and you have the best time of your life. Well, that's what happened to Lynnette and me tonight. I wouldn't say it's the best time of our life, but we had a really good time, a mommy baby, what we call mommy baby adventures. So I wanted to go because, well, I'm husband shopping for Lynnette, and I have been. So it wasn't a Lynnette. She's an introvert, and she was perfectly happy to put on her PJs after work. She works really. She's got a lot going on, and so she's perfectly happy to just put on her PJs and on a Friday night and just stay home. And anyway, that's what basically what happened next is what it reminded me of something I've been thinking a lot about lately. So we went to a rooftop bar for tapas just to go. I was like, let's just go do something. And we ended up sitting next to the owner of the hotel. Really nice hotel and really nice guy. He was so fun, so interesting. People are just so interesting. And we talked, we laughed. Lynnette is an astrologer, as you know. She's a property manager. That girlie does a lot of stuff. And anyway, and more than that, beside the point, she, we just had such, we laughed, we talked, we had such a good evening. And while we didn't find a husband, or a future husband or any of that, we just met some really quality peeperoos. And we came home and it's like, we had such a good time. It's like, we're really glad we did a mommy baby adventure. So, but this is what struck me about that. Our nervous systems, it's constantly making predictions. Your nervous system, my nervous system, constantly making predictions of like, let's just stay home, nothing great's going to happen, or I'm too tired, or I'd rather just be home. Maybe it's not worth it. These are not like some of the things we were saying, but it was more like, Lynnette, let's go. I'm totally extrovert. She's introvert on the other side, and all of those things, like probably nothing will happen or won't be worth it, or we won't meet people, and none of those things were said. It was more that Lynnette was tired. Me, I'm on the prowl, not for myself, but for Lynnette. And the problem with saying those things to ourselves, oh, I'm too tired, nothing will happen, or any of that, those are predictions based on a history. They're not facts. So our programs are trying to predict the future using the past, and we know that. We know it's like, oh, there'll probably nothing be happen, and nothing will happen great or good, or I'll be too tired, or I am too tired, any of those kinds of things. So I was just noticing that our thoughts do not become the final. I'm watching my puppies, apologies for that. That our first thoughts don't have to become our final decision. And if we just pause sometimes long enough to just ask ourselves, is this reality? Like what we're thinking? I'm too tired. I mean, we could possibly be too tired, or I just want to get into my PJs. Or is it worth it? Should I even bother going to this party, or to, just think of all the things that we tell ourselves, the stories based on the past. And you could say, is this reality, or is it just a familiar program running that is making another prediction of what is? I mean, it's just not at all possibilities. It's just a prediction. So if we had listened to our first thoughts, if I had listened to Lynnette's first thoughts, I said, let's see, 49% you put on your PJs. If you can go up to 51%, we're going out. and she's like, she doesn't. I'm her mommy. I'm just so different than I think many mothers. But anyway, But if we would have listened to our first thoughts and all of that, none of the laughter, the fun, the meeting interesting people, and Lynnette even got a client, not him, but a client for her astrology practice. So it was just really cool. So here's your self-talk. My programs can predict my past. They cannot predict possibilities. The programs can predict the past. They cannot predict possibilities, your possibilities. So add my possibilities. Your possibilities, you were born with unlimited promise and potential, and then you got programmed. I've been trying to figure out how to say this a little, make it more interesting, intriguing. I don't think that people actually get and understand how empowered you really are. I think that the programs can be so rigid that you think that's who you are. That I am shy. I am an introvert. I mean, I get it. Like Lynnette has all her planets underneath astrologically, so she tends to be more introverted. All my planets are above the horizon, and I'm like, wow. So, and it's always been like that. But you can literally, if you really understood your programs, I'm not talking about shy because that is a program, you could rewire your brain to say you didn't care about something, something about yourself, that you're maybe too out there with being, you're too focused on meeting new people. Like that's important to you. That maybe you're not caring as much as you think you should about those closest to you or something of that nature. And that's a program. It's a value, like a value statement. It's a judgment or a value statement, however you want to look at that, of what you should be or who you should be or what you should be like. And it's not good or bad, wrong or right. It just is. And it's something that, that so long as you're aware and you're choosing what it is that you want to be and how you want to be, that you can, if it was actually a program, you could rewire, to have different values. So, because your values are based on your programs, like how you were raised. If, family and all of those things, which I think most of us care very deeply. They're programs, but they're deeply embedded in community. And most people love their family, and it's part of the tribe. So, but the feelings about whether we're good or bad or doing something wrong or not, our best, or that we have limitations and they're not good, or that they're stopping us or holding us back, those are programs that we are believing because that's what I'm doing and people have told me that, or those kinds of things. Well, that's still, it's based on other people, their programs, and probably people that are closest to you, because your programs are intermeshing. So my point is, in all of this is, and I went a little bit off because I really want you to understand how very, very empowered you really are, how powerful you are to create the life that you want to lead. And there is no good or bad, wrong or right, unless you say there is. And if you look at it, what's wrong or what's right, look at it and say, where did I learn that was wrong? And why is it wrong? And is it wrong everywhere in the world, or is it just wrong here? Or is it right? Is it whatever it is? And ask the question. Possibility. You know what? Life keeps offering possibilities our programming can't predict. So that's the story is, if now going back to the fun of it all, I'm trying to figure out, like, how can I tell you how very powerful you really are, that you can rewire the programming, because it's like the second I can feel it when I'm talking to someone, the second that I say something, like you were born with unlimited promise and potential, and then you got programmed. It's like no one has unlimited promise and potential. Yeah, oh yeah, the possibilities exist, and but the programs are, yeah, of course I have limitations, because I'm too old or too young or too tall or too short or too something, not enough money, or no one will accept me, or I'm a perfectionist, or I'm not perfect enough. Limitations, all programming, all programming. I'm not saying that your height is programming, because those are some of the things that I believe we chose coming in the container that we have. But the rest, like what your abilities, what you can do and what can be done, if you have limitations on that, you've got programs running that tell you you're limited. That, plain and simple. So anyway, going back to, if your brain is telling you not to go, to do something or whatever, not to try, not to make a call to somebody, not to start, just stop yourself for just a moment and ask yourself, what might be possible if I stayed open? And I called, and I went, or whatever. What might be possible? Just ask yourself that, because possibility doesn't come with a big fanfare and announcement. Here comes possibility. Sometimes it's just like Lynnette and I, just an ordinary Friday night where Lynette's mommy says, "Let's go husband shopping. Let's go find somebody. We got to move the energy. We're gonna find someone." And just telling the universe, this is where we're going, this is what we're doing, this is the intention. So as I drag her out of the house to go, we had a wonderful time. We had an absolute wonderful time. So anyway, and that would have never happened, all the fun that we had. Not meeting up, no husband, none of that, but just fun, and just a mommy baby adventure that we both absolutely enjoyed. So you can do, be, change, have, create, become absolutely anything. You are amazing. I believe in you. You can do this. As always, shining my light to brighten your today's day 84. We'll see you for day 85 tomorrow. Ciao.